Yo, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing, homies? Andre, did y'all notice that Andre is in here right now, bro? Andre was one of the first ones in here, yo. Yo, they playing music right now, so your boy can't play that right now, but Andre's in here. Look at the legend. Oh, this guy's still around. This is the guy that was creating all those rumors, bro, at the beginning. That's hilarious. But yeah, they not talking about none yet. We got Rhys in here. Rhys is in the building already. Alex. I don't know who this is on the VeVe account. Dan. I wonder if David Yu is actually going to come through. Ask some relevant questions. What kind of questions y'all want, man? I'm gonna try to raise my hand. Like, give me some good questions. I'm gonna pop in there. I mean, I don't know if the stuff that I want answers to is actually relevant. Y'all know that the community is looking for answers to stuff that's going on right now. I don't care about that. I want answers to stuff that's going on like some years from now, like stuff that gets towards the $10 mark. So who gets who gets how many points for a secret rare? Truthfully, I don't care. I want to know, do you have any intentions on grabbing the slightest piece of the real estate market in the NFT space? I want to know stuff like that. So, yeah. I don't know, man. Interoperability with Facebook, that'll be fire. But what's with the playing music thing, yo? Like, why is that a thing? I am interested in hearing what they're going to be talking about today, though. I want to know if they're going to address any of the feedback of the programs that people want to see changed, or um, yeah, I wonder. I wonder if we're going to get like some VVverse leaks or something. Like, I want some more stuff to be excited about. To be honest with you, Omi looks like $10 easy. Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact, bro. That man's just playing Disney hits right now. What are you doing, bro? He's playing Disney hits. Meta and VV4 letters. Ask about the MTL. Oh, that's definitely gonna get asked about, man. Like, that's definitely gonna get asked about. Yeah, that's gonna be a popular one. Probably the exchanges. We should get some answers about the exchanges in this one. Unless everybody's fanboying over Disney, which is not out of the realm of possibilities. So, I mean, here we go. All right, y'all. I'm gonna see y'all after the stream.
That was delightful. That was delightful.
Yeah, you know.
You should have been a DJ there, Alex.
Wedding singer, if you didn't know that, Dan.
Really?
I've done some DJing in the past. I mean, I'm no emoji from the VeVe fan, but you know, I try to keep it real.
That's it. Alex on the ones and twos.
All right, you want to kick us off there, Rhys?
Absolutely. Big welcome, everybody. I think most people have probably tuned in, but just in case you guys want to share this around, please feel free to share that Twitter link just so that people can join us. But without further ado, I think we'll just dive right in if everybody's ready. What a week, gentlemen. What a week. Disney, Pixar,
Why, what
Star
happened?
Wars. You know, just a little announcement. Maybe the biggest one to ever happen. But let's celebrate. How are you, Dan? What a deal. Do you want to bring us, give us some insight there?
Yes, amazing week, but I think I'll hand it over to the man himself, who more than likely signed the dotted line. Mr. Yu.
Welcome,
Hi, guys. Oh, no, there he is. There he is. Hey.
Hey, guys. Perfect. I hope everyone's well, and happy Halloween in, I think, a day or two. Yeah, what a remarkable week. I mean, it's the company just moving forward. I mean, this has definitely, the announcement with Disney partnership has been a long time in the making. And we're very pleased that not just one or two of the franchise have joined, but almost all of them have joined on board. As our audience want, they want everything. You know, our audience are hungry for everything. So, you know, we carefully, everything we do in the company, we think about 5 to 6 steps ahead of things, and you know, we look for a granular plan in the rollout. And you know, Dan's going to give you a lot more update. You know, what we'd be expecting with our drops coming up, and you know, and we got more announcement coming up.
we do. Well, Dan can get to those announcements. That's it.
There's always another announcement.
Always around the corner. But look, maybe before we get to those kind of updates and things, you know, I think a lot of people really like to get your personal insight, David, into these things. I mean, everybody knows Disney is huge, but I mean, personally, what does this kind of license mean to you? Have you, do you sell Disney products in your stores? Has this been a long time coming?
Yeah, I mean, Disney definitely is. How should we say it? I mean, it's a huge corporation. I mean, the IP they own across all the studios and the franchise they own. I mean, it's covering up to 60-70% of all the brands that you know of and you have grew up with. You know, from Marvel to Pixar to Star Wars, and you know, and there's other channels that they have bought, other studios, smaller one, and we'll be rolling them out slowly over the next year. And you know, my first involvement with Disney will have to be coming back in about the 97, 98 year, when I was in the telephone card business with my friend. And you know, there's a range of phone cards back in the day. People were collecting stamps and phone card. You know, my involvement going all the way back. But obviously, the company, as a Disney overall, has changed huge, you know, in every direction. The innovation, the creativity. I mean, they are just moving in rapid speed. I mean, Disney Plus is another huge celebration for them, and that's part of this, what we're doing with this major drop we got. I mean, I believe we are every NFT come together bundle with a subscription for free. Some of them for 3 months, and you get up to 12 months on. I believe that the ultra rare that will be coming out. So yeah, I mean, this is giving our fans really utility value. And company like Disney, they always extremely innovative, find ways to partner with you know, company. And this is just another great example of how utility value in NFT can be, and we're just starting to explore with VeVe. And then we're going to have much more different way of utility, hopefully, built into our NFT in the future.
Yep. I think, as you say, more recently, people are definitely starting to see that utility value creep into our collectibles. So that's pretty big. And as you said, I mean, Disney as a company, I know that they were not necessarily on the brink a few years ago, but licensing has helped them to really reestablish themselves as such a global brand as well, and licensing powerhouse. So it's it's like
I really believe that most of these studios are now are getting really active, and one of the major things is to ensure that they always staying relevant with their audience, and you know, how they can bring that character that you once know of directly in front of you, and how to be interactive in front of their audience. And you know, VeVe demonstrate in multiple levels how, you know, a collectible can be, you know, living around you. And one of the major thing that I always talk about is when you go to Comic-Con, when you go to these con events, you take hundreds of photos. I mean, in Disneyland, you'll take hundreds of photos of all the attractions. You'll share them, but you know, it comes to Monday, you're not in that destination, you're not in the cons. What do? You have VeVe. You can bring out your favorite characters standing next to you, post next to the AR, and you know, being creative and post it and share it with people. The whole idea of what we want to do, keep going back to our philosophy, is fandom. And you know, everything we build is all around fun and, you know, and magic. It has been a magical moment to announce the partnership. And for us, it's also to explore what our fans love and want to see. And I know a lot of our fans out there are always asking, when is this coming? When is that? And just keep going back. Yeah, I mean, I think, and I'm really scared to look at my private message in my Instagram. It's like built up to must be like 6,000 plus. I know a lot of them are now repeating to go, you promise you'll answer me. And I will once I get a moment. We as a company needs to really look at, how viable when we roll these things out. We don't want to really just release Disney character when we at the very early start and facing a lot of issues. And as we fine tune our app and our audience are growing, we will time it right and we'll release things to the point. And as I keep going back, every aspect of our business, we always think 3 to 4 steps ahead. When we take a stand, when we do something, we think about why we're doing it and how we're going to get there and how we achieve things. So, myself and Dan and our executives, we have advisors, help us to achieve that goal. And at the end of the day, it's our fan, and we like to think every VeVe supporter out there is celebrating together with us in this remarkable announcement. And it certainly has been extremely hard for me to keep it under the lip. I'm under huge NDA from every franchise from left, right, and center. And before the announcement, there was only less than a handful of people in our organization, including our legals, that knows about the deal, that we are fasting through this agreement and things. So it's been very, very hard. I mean, I'm always enjoy when something remarkable that we can deliver to our fans and come true. And please keep supporting us and celebrate with us. I mean, we've got some great lineup. I mean, just for this weekend alone coming up, the Spider-Man and the zombie Captain America. Those are amazing awesome characters. I mean, I was so surprised that we're even going to get those, over the line. I mean, these are Marvel Studio digital collectibles. They're amazing. It's going out of the box. You're not just buying a Captain America. You're getting a zombie Captain America. Yeah. And the creative teams behind it, working with us, it just done a remarkable job. And you will continue to see improvements in our collectible, and we'll continue to deliver.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great rundown for people. Now, just a couple of points and questions that I know I'm going to get from people. So you said this deal with Disney has been in the works for quite a while. So I guess first and foremost, people will want to know, how long have we got the partnership for? I mean, multi-year, I'm assuming?
So I've been working on this part, knocking on doors since, I believe, Dan, when did I start visiting up in the Asia region with Disney? I think it was about 2018, mid 2018, and we got introduced to the Greater Asia team executive and their vice presidents, and slowly, we're moving into the US, and obviously, like everyone knows, the blockchain word, association with crypto. Give a lot of these executives, they stand off. They feel maybe they're not there. Their legal don't quite understand it. And I remember going into a number of these meetings in Los Angeles, even in Greater China area. It was a very, very hard to explain why would people want to enter into purchasing these digital collectibles or NFT as we know of. And myself and Dan is one of those, we have that personality and persona, is that we'll just keep pursuing it until we get it. And I think really that's what really got us over the line, and demonstrating that we can execute with clever marketing and how to utilize these great characters that you know of, to explore new avenues. And at the end of the day, it's not even really about the economic behind it. It's just this is a brand new era that all these brands are moving into, and certainly now with Disney on board, as we have announced, and with all these other larger IP, for me, when I look at the NFT industry and this whole entire digital asset industry is just going to continue to grow. It's going to foster. I mean, everyone is so deeply invested in it. I mean, the amount of phone call, I just want everyone to know, the amount of phone call I got in email of other major tier one brand license want to partner with us after that announcement has just shown us, that this industry is really getting great cemented pillars. And these pillars is just going to be, hardened. And one of the philosophy when I build businesses and in the past and how I think is, like what we're building is we're really building our empire state building type of structure. We're going to have major pillars down there and major brands supporting us from the foundation all the way up to ensure that if anything comes major strike off, we're not going to be vulnerable. And this partnership is a multi-year deal, and the partnership is just going to foster to be something even more stronger. And Dan's talked a lot of times about the topic that we keep bringing up is the metaverse, and I think out there in the last couple of days with the media with with this other that's the one. I actually think they're called Meta now. They're not Facebook. I don't know. And I was joking with Dan the other day. Maybe we need to change our name to. I originally thought Nana would be a great name, like Nana Batman. and then I thought maybe we should change to Data. And they are called Meta. We're Data. No, just for a bit of laugh. We definitely, a lot of these companies see value in the metaverse, and it just showing that it is one direction that we're going to be moving into. And our audience, the way we react, the way we engage in the future in digital world, it's gonna be very, very different. And I think there's something that Dan is extremely passionate about, and we'll share more. Yeah, but that's me. Enough talking for me. I want to hear what Dan have to say. I'm here to learn.
Absolutely.
I think you pretty much covered it all, Dave. Very eloquently.
Yeah, but I do have to say it's been a remarkable journey working with Dan alongside traveling to see Disney. It was one of those things we thought, oh man, we are a pre-revenue, we are a startup, we pre-live app. It will be extremely difficult for these companies to really understand what we're doing. And, with the persistence of Dan's, and it is a teamwork, there's days that we honestly just think, how are we going to try to convince these companies that they should join in? This is going to be a groundbreaking and changing. And Dan is always very solid to go, well, this is what's going to happen. You guys will wait and see. If you're going to miss out, this is time for you guys to be in. Sure. So that negotiation went for multiple years. It wasn't because NFT was hot and they pick up a phone call and down in New Zealand and call, hey, we saw this white glove thing, we checked it out, and we thought, hey,
that's the
you're
guy.
The best partner. This is the guy. You're on point. And the hair is just on point, and we have to do this deal.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how it played out. How much do you think the Marvel license and the success of that so far fed into the Disney deal, or was it kind of a test case, or do you think it was already done?
you know, these organizations, they are owned by one holding entity, but certainly they do run separate. I believe it's pretty unheard of to have to have this many IP all under one roof. I mean, we done a remarkable job to earn these trusts. I mean, I think the announcement mentioned that there's Star Wars coming, there's Pixar, there's the Disney Princess line, and obviously we all know we have the Marvel line, and we are going to be adding more into it, and there'll be some surprises coming out. So yeah, as a company, I'm definitely very satisfied with the partnership or the deal that we have structured to roll this program out. But overall, I think Marvel definitely have played some part into it, and I do believe that it's very important that these characters have relevance. So even if you're doing amazing revenue in Marvel, it doesn't mean you're just going to get everything else. I mean, because there might not be relevant categories, if you know what I mean. So, and this is quite often in the licensing world. You might be great at making T-shirts and hat, but that character might not best fit for T-shirts and hat or sell as well. So it doesn't mean, you know, Marvel NFT does well that everything else needs to be bundled in, because it might not be relevant to our audience. But, you know, the case that we have done and we have built and demonstrate is that, you know, we want to bring these magic together and these characters all under one roof. And that was something that we were very strong stance on. You know, we will want all these to be bundled up and and give it to your audience, the audience that will love these.
For sure. From a purely collectible point of view, and in your experience, is one of these major IPs more collectible? You know, are they more sought after? Is it Star Wars or Pixar or
I mean, and you know, this is a great question. I mean, you know, 20 years ago, I started my hobby in stamp collecting. And there's something I'm passionate. And back in the day, when you collect stamp, you have butterflies, you have trains, you have sceneries, and then they start bringing out these beautiful, you know, licensed stamps. You know, you start to see, you know, Disney stamps or Star Wars stamp, and you know, I just love them. And this is a way for collectors to interact. But you know, going back to, you know, your question, are they more desirable to collect, or this different way? And I think I mentioned it many times. We want, you know, when I tell Dan, I say, Dan, you're gonna love this, but you know, I don't know what Dan loves or not. It's how the collector learn to love to collect these things. What our collectors probably don't even know, they love collecting NFT because they love collecting specific characters that we bring out. They might love collecting number 8, number 88, or a special edition number of the collectible that we bring. And there's people out there collecting everything that's ultra rare or anything that's machinery, like cars or planes. But with VeVe and with relation to the Disney deal is that we really believe that, you know, Pixar has their own audience. The Disney Princess has been out. I mean, the Mickey Mouse series is obviously one of the longer running cartoon out there. You know, from black and white days now to fully animated. You know, there's a huge fans out there. I mean, I don't know what the number is, but around the world, the Disneyland, Disney World, you know, the attraction is still one of the top, you know, amusement park people visit. Yep. And you can imagine one day these collectibles will be living around those parks as well. That, you know, things that you know, in many years, how the digital world will transform, you know, the physical park experience into digital. That it's another layer of things that I really think, you know, it's going to add a lot of more utility value to it. Yeah. But what I say, one brand is stronger than the other. I totally believe that, you know, if you love Star Wars, you're just gonna love what's going to be coming out. If you love Pixar, regardless what character it is, you're just going to love it because you love the storytelling of that company, what they bring out. So I think everything we do will be very sought after one way or another.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And as you said, they all bring their own audience and fans. And I mean, if we've learned anything, most of our fans are happy buying Mermacornos, so I'm sure they will be happy buying Disney characters. But,
yeah,
I think Alex and I are definitely in the Star Wars camp. For me, that is 100% the brand I'm most excited about. I mean, can you imagine having an AT-AT walk across your room and fire its blasters and interact with its speeder? I mean, yeah, it's going to be so cool.
It is.
I'll tell you a story about me and Dan. We, just to get to understand the brand a lot more, we managed to visit the Star Wars Disneyland, the attraction. And, the night before, we were doing study, we watched all the YouTube, what not to do, what to do. And, we decided to go in the park and clever enough, we thought maybe we do the anti-clockwise, go the opposite direction, what everyone does. And obviously we arrived at the new Star Wars camp. And, what not to do, number one is don't buy a Star Wars lightsaber or be part of the workshop. That's what we say, because we talked about it. Once you go in the workshop, you're going to be carrying that lightsaber the whole day. We're going to have problem carrying on the plane, everything. And what do you know? We arrive at it, and these guys dress up and role play, and they come up and they go, "Hey, we have 2 spots left for this lightsaber making class, and surely we put our name on it for the whole day.
Within 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, we had already broken our rule. But it's pretty cool. I look at the lightsaber every day and play with it at least once a month. So I'm still happy with the purchase.
Still satisfied.
And that's what fandom does. You set all these rules. You say, no, I'm not going to buy. This is crazy. There's all hype. And we bought into our own hype. We get in, and because we're a fan and we love that experience, that storytelling and making your own lightsaber. And I do believe we've been told that, there's a new lightsaber coming out as well, or maybe it's already out, a quite special one. So, if you guys get to visit DCon, you're next to Anaheim, if you get a chance to pop over to Disneyland, it's definitely worth looking at it. It's totally amazing.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I think there's a staff trip planned after DCon, just so you guys are aware.
Oh, great. You must definitely get me one of those things. I'll tell you. I'll talk to you afterwards.
I'll add it to your list, David.
That's it.
Yes. Apparently, there's these new lightsaber that come out, but it's actually like a real light goes up. So
there's no plastic blade anymore. Apparently, it's
all right.
It's some kind of new fancy technology.
Laser.
Yeah.
won't cut through anything, but
well, that's pretty exciting. So, is that confirmation, guys? Are we seeing lightsabers on VeVe at some point? Is that?
we can't confirm anything.
I know we can't confirm anything. We'll put that on the back burner.
We can hope. We can always hope.
That's it. All right. Well, look, we might just reset the room and then maybe dive into some of these topics as well. We'll start with Disney and Disney Plus. But before we get there, just a big welcome to everybody and thank you for joining us on what is a momentous occasion to celebrate Disney Plus Day and the Master Collector Program, or the initial rollout of the Master Collector Program. As always, please share these links if anybody needs to find our resources. We do have a VeVe Discord server. We do have Ecomi Telegram channels. And obviously you can find us through our socials as well. So if anybody needs those links, I'm sure the family will be happy to share them. But without further ado, we will cover all of the main topics probably in the next half an hour, all the sticky points we've found over the last week. And then we'll open up to questions from the floor and some of the pre-submitted ones. But to get started, how about we dive into Disney Plus Day, Dan or Alex, or does someone want to maybe speak to what we can expect, go through that rollout plan?
Yeah, absolutely. We can't go into too much more detail beyond the press release, but as most people know who have read the article or seen the press release, the first drops that we'll be doing is in celebration of Disney Plus Day. I believe it's their first anniversary on November 12th. And so the exciting thing is that during that week, we will be doing a series of drops of golden statues that are sort of icons from some of the shows that you have probably watched on Disney Plus. I can tell you that the golden statues are just absolutely beautiful, and the the team over at Disney have been really such a pleasure to work with. I think the reason we kind of gelled with them early on is that both companies have a very similar ethos, and even though we're a technology company and they're a licensing or IP company, at our heart we are all about the fan and the collector experience, and I think that's what resonated with them very early on. And then the other exciting thing, which Dave already touched on, is that for each person who manages to secure one of the collectibles from the Disney Plus Day drops, will get a subscription to Disney Plus. Which again, I think it's so encouraging that we're starting to see these big licensors that have come on board with VeVe to realize that there's an extended layer to what we're doing, which is the utility. And I'm really excited going into 2022 that we can anticipate to see a lot more of that utility coming into the NFT space. So the fact that a big IP company like Disney and along with MGM and James Bond are kind of leading the cause, it's just it's so cool, and I'm just super excited to see what we're going to be seeing in the future. I don't think I can say too much more on the actual drops other than stay tuned, because we'll be starting to release more information. I believe it's from next week, and really excited to present what's going to be coming out.
Yes, I am very excited to see it, along with I think everybody else waiting in the wings. But super exciting there, and as you said, that utility. It's nice to see real world utility from these NFTs. A lot of the space is full of digital utility or utility within gaming spheres, but to see that marriage between the physical and digital is a really encouraging sign, as you said. Okay, well, that's exciting. We'll stay tuned for more info from Alex on that front. Obviously, the next topic on everybody's lips is the immutable migration. So I know we had some technical development difficulties there that we have overcome. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. And actually, just before I get into it, I just wanted to give a big shout out to some of the people in the community. Obviously, non-fungible, wonderful. I mean, I think probably 100 views on that YouTube video is me from just playing it over and over. So honestly, well done. And I have no idea how you bang the stuff out so fast.
Oh my God.
It took me 4 weeks to write lyrics. So. And who else did I see? I think it was VeVe Giffy did an awesome, another one of his awesome videos. And also just a shout out to everyone in the community who I've spoken to about, Master Collector Program, even the Obi utility. I find it really valuable just getting feedback directly from people in the community about, things they like or things they don't like, and, where we should be heading. So just a big thank you to everyone for that. Now, in terms of immutable, as Rhys just mentioned, and as we covered off in the last AMA, there was some optimization issues that we needed to resolve, and happy to say that has all been fixed up now, and we've run through all of our unit tests internally, and everything is looking very good. So we're hoping that the minting, which is the next stage, is going to happen very soon, and all going well, that will start kicking off around the end of next week. I think we just need to move all of the test work into the production environment, and once that's done, we can press on. So bit of a shame on the delays, but hey man, like I always say, this is the world of development, and also we're still kind of a startup, and Immutable's still kind of a startup. So obviously we're sort of bouncing around with resources and that kind of thing as well.
For sure. And anyone who's been following Immutable will see that they've rolled out some pretty mega announcements lately, partnership with TikTok and things like that. So, as startups, obviously that resource base gets spread pretty thin sometimes. But
and just so people know that the integration that we do with Immutable is very different to what their standard integration is, because we have a very different business model in the sense that we have 1 foot in crypto, 1 foot out of crypto. We obviously have licensor agreements that we need to comply with. And so that's also one of the reasons that the development has taken an extended amount of time.
Yeah, for sure. Good to know. And I mean, I might just take this opportunity to remind people that the minting phase, or what is known as phase 2, there is no user interaction there. You guys don't need to do anything during phase 2. And if I'm correct, we will take the market offline for a few hours when that migration is taking place. Hopefully keep that window as short as possible, but there will be a window there where the market is offline. So being aware of.
The developers had said 2 or 3 hours. So I think, as I mentioned last time, I've noted that down as 4 or 5 hours. So we'll just see how it goes, but we'll obviously try to minimize that impact, and we'll do it at a time where there's the least amount of activity on VeVe, which, to be honest, is a very small window.
Yeah, these days. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know that we picked that, but as always, guys, we will release plenty of updates, announcements, information, just to let everybody know that is taking place and not to panic. So good to hear that is around the corner. Another thing that I think is around the corner is the Gem to Fiat cash out and MTL. How are we going?
Should I make a joke right now about the fact it's coming out, or is that too sensitive?
It's too sensitive. It's been too big a week.
No, Gem to Fiat is going very well. So we anticipate that we will be opening up to the first users by the end of next week. We've got everything is basically built and developed on our side. Same deal. It's been through the testing. There was the integration with the banking partner did end up taking longer than we had anticipated. A lot of that is due to the banking partner we're using down here in New Zealand. If people don't know, New Zealand's currently on countrywide lockdown due to COVID. So there has been a fair few delays with their IT teams, but we managed to get through it like we always do. So yeah, very excited to get that opened up to the early few users from end of next week. And then, as we've explained, as we start to roll through those initial few users and everything starts going well, then we'll start opening it up to more and more users, and then ultimately, eventually, up to everyone.
Yeah. And I think that's what most people will wait for. And do you want to just, I think we've mentioned this before, but there obviously will be a KYC process to run through. Is there anything that needs to be mentioned on that front just yet?
Absolutely. I mean, when we're dealing with any kind of funds or anything to do with financial instruments, the world is a very different place now from where it was 5 years ago, where, nowadays, even to walk into a bank, it seems like I need to present my password and go through AML and KYC. So because we are dealing with people withdrawing funds down to their bank account, the first step of using the payout system is that you will need to go through a KYC process, and then once that has been approved, which will be a maximum of 24 hours, assuming you get approved, and then from that point you'll be able to start doing the Gem to Fiat.
Yep, and I guess we should note that the KYC is done by that third party, or by the partner. They're not by us. So any issues with KYC, don't send us tickets, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we will have a lot of information on the web wallet as to what happens in that scenario.
Okay, perfect. We'll release that information in due time. All right, that's awesome. Hopefully we see the first people in there end of next week. Now, I think a lot of people have been waiting on some app updates just to clean up the comics in the store and a few other things. I think that was expected around now. Has that gone out, Dan, or is it close?
It is very close. I just had the app build come in this morning with all of the final changes. So that's going to go through testing over the next couple of days, and yeah, I'm really excited to get that one rolled out next week. All going well, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, and so this update has quite a lot of new features in it. Off the top of my head, I think I might have mentioned last time, but it will be the integration of comics into the main store landing page. So you'll no longer need to use that switcher bar at the top. Comics will also show in the coming soon and latest drops section with their own banner. And obviously the comics will appear on the store landing page. In addition to that, we've made some quite big updates in the market. Number one being basically a restructure of the comics section, just to make it a lot more manageable now that we've got a lot more comics in the system. And those updates also extend to collectibles as well, where now that there are just so many thousands of listings on in the market, we've now moved to a more vertical scrolling list. So it's a lot easier to see and find either the edition or the price that you're looking for in the market. So yeah, really looking forward to rolling that out and then getting some feedback. Of course, this is version 1, so there'll no doubt be some tweaking and evolution of the updates. But overall, it's absolutely a step in the right direction.
All right. You there, Rhys? Did you get your mic muted?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, mate. Just talking to myself over here. That's fine. Doesn't matter at all. I think people will be excited for that regardless. Yeah, the next thing on my list, we removed some Captain Americas from the store over the past couple of weeks. Do you want to just maybe give people some insight into what happens there? Do we burn them straight away? Do they go into some sort of holding wallet that never to return? How does all that happen? How did it go down?
Yep, that is exactly what happens. So basically, they get moved into a burn wallet within our back end. Now, right now, I believe Immutable is just finalizing their burn functionality. So as soon as that is in place, then everything in that burn wallet will basically be sent out of circulation. Now, one of the other points is that obviously within the app, the total number of editions that were minted hasn't gone down. And the reason being is that because when the collectibles are purchased, it's actually random edition numbers. So there could potentially be someone out there with, edition number 22,000. So what we're more than likely going to do is add another piece of metadata into the collectible screen that will show, the total available in circulation. So we'll always have there that there was, 22,000 minted, but they will more than likely add another row in just to say that there is now, I think it was something crazy low in the end, like 7,000 or 8,000 actually available.
Yeah, a number were removed. And I guess moving forward, that option is always available to us if we ever overshoot or if something's not as popular as we anticipate.
Yeah, that's right. That was always part of, to be honest, it was actually always a big part of David and my strategy was that, and even built in, all into our back-end systems, we have the ability to add an end date in for, collectibles that don't sell. But then something completely random happened, which is that everything sold out. So we haven't actually had to use that up till now. Yeah. So there'll definitely be some improvements around that now that we are starting to burn.
Yes, yeah, and just on that layer 2 burn wallet thing, as you said, I don't know that Immutable have that enabled yet, or they're building towards it. I think up until now, to burn from layer 2, you would have to withdraw those assets to layer 1 and burn them on layer 1 or something like that. So makes sense to wait until their system is up and running as well. So that's a bit of insight there. Gents, because we're geniuses, we've decided to roll out some Disney stuff and then go straight into Decon, where we'll be rolling out a heck of a lot more artists.
Don't even talk to me about it, Rhys. My next 2 weeks is basically less sleep than I already get.
It should be easy because they're right next to each other, right? I mean, Decon's right next door to Disneyland, right? That's how it works, right?
Yeah, that's a valid point, Alex.
But I believe we're doing a giveaway in the lead up?
Yeah, so let me touch on that real quick. We have a good handful of Decon VIP passes to give away. So if you're going to be in the area or don't mind traveling a little bit to Anaheim, California, and make sure that this isn't these passes are just for a pass, or no travel or accommodations will be provided, unfortunately. But if you are interested in joining us at Decon and many other designer toy and art brands, I've seen the floor plan and it looks amazing. We're right next to Medicom as well as Mondo and some other heavy hitters. So please visit VeVe.me/giveaways and enter for your chance to win a VIP pass. That VIP pass includes Friday night VIP party access, as well as all 3 days of DesignerCon general floor. So, yeah, Trevor, myself, Rhys, Noah, we'll all be there, and we'd love to meet you.
Absolutely, we would. And just touching on that giveaways URL that you just provided, is that we'll be using that universally now for these kind of sweepstakes?
Yes, so it is the same URL that you probably entered for your chance to win an Edo. Congratulations to those winners, by the way. Those have all been delivered. So ongoing, we're excited to announce that we are going to be doing ongoing giveaways. So, whether it's, 2-3 times a month, or it depends on, what else we have going on, but we're going to try to make sure that we're giving a little something back, a little something.
Absolutely. Everybody loves free stuff. So
I know I do.
Yeah, that's it. And while we've got you, Alex, do you want to maybe just give people some drop information? We obviously have Halloween weekend coming up, which is exciting.
Yes. So 2 drops tomorrow. Really excited about these. As David mentioned at the top of the AMA, we have 2 Marvel Studios What If themed drops. One, Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, who is rocking the Cloak of Levitation, Doctor Strange's Cloak of Levitation. If you haven't seen the episode, I won't spoil it, but some stuff goes sideways, and unfortunately, the Sentinel of Liberty has been infected and has become a zombie, and poor Cap has to go up against his friend and teammate. Spidey, who is now basically the last Avenger. So we have 2 of those statues for each of those characters in blind box format. Zombie Hunter Spider-Man drops at 8 a.m. Pacific, and Zombie Captain America drops at noon Pacific.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And I might just chime in with one of the pre-submitted questions here, just to get some insight. It's well timed there. Senator Palpy wants to know, why does Zombie Hunter Spider-Man have an FA tag when it's just Peter Parker in a different costume? So, just want some more definitive information about when we use the FA tag, what that applies to, all of those kind of things.
Dan, you on me?
Dave, you want to tackle that one?
Yeah, sure. So just so everyone understands, it is the first appearance of this character, and we do understand that Spider-Man has been out. That was the comic version, and definitely this is the Marvel Studio What If version. It's number one. It's a complete, different series. It has a Doctor Strange coat on it, etc. And we have a massive plan with these Marvel Studio and other studio IPs coming out. And we do have other series will be rolling out as part of this whole franchise.
Mm-hmm. So what's obviously, as the name would suggest, it's the first appearance of this character. So really the differentiator is, and I think this was hard for me to understand originally, when I think Marvel, I just think all of it counts as Marvel. So one Spider-Man is one Spider-Man, but there's actually almost countless story arcs, and whether it was comics or shows or this thing or
and
that thing.
And multiverses as well.
And multiverses.
Different universes, yeah.
Yes. So really it's, it is a standalone character, and that's what grants us that first appearance.
Definitely. And also I think, you guys do want to keep your eye out on the screen. I think my last AMA, I mentioned, we are going to try to bring one other characters or one other item in VeVe will be animated, and that item will come to a life. So we hope everyone enjoy that, and it's just part of the whole learning process. And and we'll be giving out more clues in coming weeks or months of what this whole thing we're doing is all about, and turning things alive. For me and Dan, it's very important that the collectible have utility value outside being just what we do them in the showroom or post them in AR. We want to start adding layers to them, and really tell the story behind these brands that we're bringing alive.
Yeah. And David, I have a follow-up question on that. Are you aware, since you first mentioned that in a Twitter space some odd weeks ago, of just the amount of wild speculation that you've caused in the community? And the second part to that is, do you feel bad about that at all?
Yeah. I think that I feel bad for Dan.
Thanks, Dave. It's nice to hear it from your lips.
It's like, what? I mean, it's not in my calendar. I mean, where's the asset? Who's making this? I mean, it's not in the pipeline. No one knows about it. So I think there was a team, had to get to work straight away. And this one is quite different, and it's going to be more fun. There's a lot of things being put into it and thoughts on this one. So I hope you guys had fun on it. Yeah, and I am sorry.
And we believe it. We truly believe it.
You sound sorry.
So much conviction.
Yeah. Hey, so I know we have a lot to get to today, obviously, still. There's going to be a fair amount of questions about MCP, OUP, but I do want to get quickly to a couple of special guests before we kind of get into the meat in that, before we lose them. So that's being said, let's give a big warm welcome to dear old Uncle Jeremy.
Uncle Jeremy.
Oh, my brother Jeremy.
Uncle Jeremy.
Uncle Jeremy's here, everyone. Thank you.
Welcome. How are you,
What you got, Jeremy?
I'm good. No, I just listen. It's I just wanted to say to this team, well done, Rhys, Noah, Alex, Trevor, Dan, David. Congratulations! You've achieved something that is absolutely unprecedented. Achieving the entire Disney Plus portfolio, inclusive of Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, Princess, Disney Plus. It's a spectacular move. It is truly an unprecedented move. I mean, as you guys know what I do. Uncle Jeremy makes toys, Pokemon, Fortnite, Roblox. But you may not know, we're also a partner for Marvel. We took over the costumes business this year. We're about to announce a bunch more within the Disney portfolio. But I don't know if people understand contextually how high of an achievement it is to accomplish that. So you go look in any category, whether it's toys, collectibles, bedding, apparel, socks, shoes, whatever it may be. I defy you to find another partner that's got the entire portfolio. It's a very, very powerful move. And I just wanted to tell you guys how sincerely thrilled I am for you as a friend and as a holder of Omi. I'm also quite spectacularly satisfied with this move.
Awesome. Hey, and Jeremy,
Thank you, Jeremy.
Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you so much.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you. Thank you. I'm old.
It happens.
Not as old as we feel after this week.
Well, it always looks easy when someone's executing at a high level. But behind the scenes, what you've all had to accomplish in a short period of time is nothing short of spectacular.
Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah,
appreciate you coming up. I know we always like to get you up on stage when we can, but definitely
absolutely
wanted to say hello.
Thank
appreciate
you.
the kind words.
feel free to toss me back into the audience because I'm just enjoying this very much. But if you see any value in having me up here, I'll stay for a while.
Yeah, sure. I'd actually love to have you chomp what would you call it, chin wag, as OBL calls it, a bit here.
Anytime.
We brought up another, well-known community member as of late. Definitely has dipped his toes in, and we've seen him all on videos, and the community is definitely happy to have him part of the VeVe fam. So let's all say hello to Andre. Hello, Andre.
What's
Welcome,
up?
Andre.
How you guys
Hey,
doing?
Andre, how are you?
Good. I love your guys' stuff. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome.
Thanks, mate.
I have one big question to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
When Pokemon?
Oh man,
Just kidding.
I would not have gone too
You're not allowed to do that when they announce Disney and Disney Plus.
Yeah.
That's true.
100%
That's true.
not allowed.
That's
Immediate
true. That's true. No, the Disney Plus is incredible. I'm so excited about that. How long are the utility, tokens going to last, you guys think? Is it like for a limited amount of time, or can we pass on the tokens maybe to our friends who don't have Disney Plus? What do you guys think?
Yes, great question, Andre. So the deal that we have struck with Disney Plus is that the code is not for resale purpose, obviously, but they are transferable to your friends, family members. You do have to use the mark before the end of this calendar year, so 31st of December, you will have to activate. So it's only available for new subscribers or people who have their subscription just ran out and they can use it as a new subscription. So it's pretty good. And
Gotcha.
yeah, up to end of the year is enough time for those family and friend who wants to join on board.
That's awesome. I've also been trying to get every drop, and I've actually competed against my friend Foster. He also does a lot of VeVe and Omi content, and I actually just destroyed him in button mashing, which I'm really proud about. But I can't seem to get a drop. Is there a trick to it, or is there going to be some sort of more of a lottery system in the future, or has that been implemented already?
We are definitely looking at other drop mechanisms. As the audience probably knows, we started off with your standard traditional drop, and then we've added in blind box. And as the company grows and scales, and we're still doing drops of 20,000 collectibles, but when we have 1 million users, that is going to become obviously more competitive. So we are looking at waiting room type systems. However, as I've mentioned in the past, there's a lot of exhilaration around the existing drop model. And I think that is something that we very much want to maintain, regardless of whatever type of system we go to. So, yes, to answer your question, we are looking into those things, but we still want to make sure that we stay true to the fun and excitement and pain that is the drop.
That makes a lot of sense. One last question for you guys. Am I crazy for spending 12 grand on a secret rare Spider-Man?
No.
Only 12 grand.
You're asking the wrong people.
No, not financial advice.
Yeah, not financial advice. Yeah.
I'll tell you this coming from a pure collector standpoint. Again, Uncle Jeremy here, also a big collector. When you look at the Grail items in any particular category, there tends to be a pretty specific audience for that Grail item, and it tends to really, really, over the course of time, be some of the best performing within any portfolio. So you see that in cards, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. A 1952 Topps PSA 10 Mickey Mantle in the year 1999 sold for $250,000. Today, it's a $40 million card.
Wow.
Again, there's absolutely zero from a financial, there's no promises, there's no guarantees. A platform has to remain relevant. But I've personally rarely seen a platform that has this much community attachment. So yeah, Grails are always something that I specifically look towards and look to try to acquire.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I just got my mint number is so cool. It's 0862, which was apparently was the 15th issue, which was the first time that Spider-Man came out, which was in August 1962.
Oh, there you go.
It's so cool. So cool. But yeah, I'm so excited for the future. You guys are awesome. Thank you for having
Congrats, man.
Thanks, Andre.
Yeah, thank you
Appreciate
very much
it.
for being part of the
Andre.
me. Yeah,
And
dropping the
welcome.
video soon. If you guys want to talk, let me know. I'd love to know any kind of info. Sign NDAs, whatever. I want to be a part of it.
Awesome.
He's
Thank
after
you,
the
guys.
inside scoop, Dave. Watch out.
All right, you guys. Take care.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Andre.
Appreciate it.
All right. So with that, we have a lot to cover still. Master Collector Program. How about that?
Yeah, how about that?
Last. Party time.
Absolutely.
So how do we want to kick this off? Do we want to give like a high level overview of what went into it, Dan, and the reason why it was delayed? Me.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, as anyone who has read the MCP article can probably understand that, we have spent a lot of time working through it to make sure that it's not just a very high level, simple system. VeVe has a lot of complexity in it, without the Master Collector. And obviously there's various different collectibles and different rarities and low mints and all that kind of thing. So we wanted to make sure that the MCP was a very robust program, and a program that had depth, and also a program that would have multiple routes to securing points, whether you want to go down the set path or the collectible path, or the the different rarities. So I'd just like to thank everyone for their patience. I have seen quite a lot of videos. Foster Hilt, I watched yours. I thought it was very cool. So thank you for your objective viewpoint of everything that you reviewed. And so really like I say, the program has been designed to be fairly robust and to have quite a lot of depth to it. And I was joking to Dave, but I think the day before we dropped the article, that I was saying to David, give it 2 days and there'll be spreadsheets out and all that kind of thing. But boy, was I wrong. I think it was 2 hours, and then someone had put, I think, what was it, VeVe set list? Well done to whoever put that together.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing the speed of which people like
Rebel Duck, I think, came out with something.
Rebel Duck had his breakdown. So it's great to see that stuff from the community. Now, obviously, as you guys will know from the 2 massive bold disclaimers in the MCP, this is our first iteration. And, like everything, we love to get community feedback. And we try to take the Master Collector program, or whatever we develop, as far as we can and try to make it as polished as possible. But there is always feedback from the community. And that is why we like to put these articles out, so you guys can actually, come back to us with what you like, what you don't like, what does work, what doesn't work. And so today is really an opportunity to, just jump in and ask some questions. 2 things that I will kick off. I know that there is a lot of sentiment of some sort around secret rares. And I'd just like to say that, we have put a lot of thought into how this program works. It wasn't written the day before that it went out. There has been significant amounts of modeling to make sure that the system is fair across the board. And that means it's fair if someone purchased a secret rare for $7 or they purchased it for $10,000. There's been a lot of thought and a lot of calculation gone into the numbers. So I am looking at potentially revising the secret rare number. However, as some of you guys that I've spoken to in the community, it is a very fine balance, and we need to make sure that we are taking into account every variable and every factor that we can, so not to bloat the system in one particular area or ensure that the system can't be abused in any way. So that was the first point. And then the second point was around the wagering of points in the drop lottery. And to be honest, I mean, I went back and forth with quite a lot of the team members as to whether if you take part in the drop lottery, whether you win or not, your points are currently spent. So there was a lot of back and forth internally, and we really liken it to, it is a lottery. If I go and buy a lotto ticket today and I don't win the $10 million, I can't turn up to the lotto shop and just say, hey, I didn't win, so can you give me back my $10? Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of thought and a lot of modeling going into this. And I think one other thing to consider, and I think I also heard this on Foster's video, which is that the drop lottery is high risk, high reward. You have the opportunity to guarantee yourself a specific rarity in the drop, depending on how much you wager, and that is the risk, that is the game. However, in saying that, we are revisiting the model just to see if that will still continue to work. For the time being, that's how it's going to remain. But obviously, I love to hear the feedback that's out there in the community. And again, I applaud the people who put the videos out within hours of that. I sort of anticipated that my Saturday morning I'd get up and watch some videos, but no, it was like lunchtime Friday, there was already stuff out.
Yeah, that bit shouldn't surprise you at all. Maybe we'll just take a moment to remind people as well. I know it's in that article, but for the drop lottery, that is for an allocation of collectibles. It's not, the lottery doesn't run for the entire drop, and you have to wager to participate. You will still be able to participate in the drops exactly the same way as we do now.
Yeah. And that as well, you have to be very strategic on what you're putting all your points, wagering all your points on, because this isn't going to be something where the whales can automatically just bid or wager the most points every time. They have to be strategic about it. And if they wager all their points and they don't get it, or if they get it, then they kind of start from zero, or however many they wagered, right? So we're trying to spread it out. Yeah. But with that said, I want to start to get to the community, because we've already kind of been on for an hour here. I know I'm going to pull up a few that I know have questions, have reached out to me with questions, or have sent questions in that I think that would be just better vocalized vocally. So I'll go ahead and turn that over then to J-Omite, who is well known in the community as one of our senior mods, and has really kind of helped shape this just as much as Noah or I have with the in general, kind of like asking the right questions, and then we would go and kind of tweak those some of that wording and things like that. So appreciate you, Jeremiah. Thank you very much for being on stage with us. And what's your question?
I actually have two questions. The first one is about the Masters Collectors program. First of all, every time I read it, I get more excited about it. That's the first thing. But the question I have was regarding the rank system. It says that for the first 6 people, they get a free subscription to Master Collector Pro. My question is, what if you are ranking number 7, you pay for the subscription, and then the next day you're rank number 6? How does that work? And the follow-up question to that is, what if you're number 6 and then you go back to 7? How long do you get to keep your Master Collector Pro status?
Right. GMI, you may need to reread that section, or maybe we need to rewrite it. But it's not actually the first 6 people. It's the top 6 ranks. So out of the 23 ranks, that would be the 17 upwards, if my math is correct, which it probably isn't. Those people who are in the top 6 ranks, which could potentially be thousands of people, they will be given free access to MCP Pro. For the reason being is that, if you are a top rank user, then you obviously are a very strong collector, and you're obviously very strong usage within the app. And for us, we just want to reward those people for being such a big part of the VeVe platform.
But do they lose the rank? Like, let's say you are part of the top 6 rank, and then let's say the next day the new points gets flowed in and the rank's updated, and that person that was in the 6th rank drops down to number 7. Do they automatically lose their pro status?
Yes, they will.
And that happens over a 24-hour period, like every day when it updates?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. My second question is actually from the Discord community, something that came up that I wanted to ask. So with the move to Immutable X, does it change the status that, let's say, Todd Batman, it's being reminted on Immutable X. Does he lose the status of being the first NFT because it's being reminted again? And the original one on the Go chain is removed?
No, we'll be doing everything we can to retain. Obviously, we are reminting, but in terms of the drop date, the metadata that comes with it, Batman number 100 will always be known as the OG Batman.
That's awesome because that's my favorite collectible.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Prop, what's up, Prop?
What's going on, brother? Hi, David. Hi, Rhys. Hi, Dan. Nice to speak with you guys. Congratulations on this accomplishment. Absolutely massive. I see there's probably the biggest thing in contention from the Master Collector program amongst users is what you mentioned, whether or not the secret rare collectibles, whether it be comics or the statue collectibles, are have a high enough point reward to them. And I honestly personally think that you guys really did put a tremendous amount of thought into it, and I don't think it was as inconsiderate as some people are saying.
Thank you.
I do know that you have kept in mind people or the users who don't have much of an advantage as some people who have unlimited amounts of money, right? And I really respect that, and I think that there is something to be said about aspiring to advance, and things to not just be sort of too easy or given to you. With that said, I think I just wanted to ask: is one of the maybe perhaps a solution to that is maybe to have a milestone bonus for holding secret rares, or maybe only secret rares? So if you maybe hold it for every 30 days, there's an extra bonus to that, which will incentivize holding it longer, actually, rather than flipping it, which makes it even a bit harder to get, rather than just giving it an extra 2-3 points, which could be something that could easily solve it and mend everyone together there. I also had a really interesting thought brought up last night in a Twitter space about FAs and first appearances and the value of collectibles from season 1 to season 2. And I was wondering if you guys considered giving, and I know this is early on and it's the first draft, but have you also considered giving an extra bonus on first appearance collectibles or first edition collectibles?
Thanks, Prop, for the great question. So just to address the last one, there won't be daily points for FAs or CEs. However, there will be badges. And when you earn a badge, that badge gives you points. And badges will have multiple different levels. Like you see in most popular games now, you might get FA badge number 1, potentially right up to FA badge number 10. And each time you get one of those badges, you will get some points around it. We do need to be a little bit careful about making the system even more complex than it is now. Like I say, we spent a lot of time getting the balance right, and that's really the main emphasis around the points that we have given, in the sense that we need to make sure that somebody new coming into the app doesn't feel like they are completely out of reach of working their way up the levels. And we need to make sure that those people who are already the higher level are getting an advantage for what they're holding. But to address your first question, I would actually just like to really go back and take a step back and just remember that these points are really nothing but a small side feature, a gamification feature in the app to make the app a little bit more enjoyable. And of course, so you can flex over your mates. Oh, you're only a level 100. What a loser. We just need to make sure that, you know, the joy and the value is in the collectible itself. I mean, I'm not going to go and buy a secret rare because I'm going to get extra 0.5 points per day. I mean, that's not how we should be thinking about this. You're buying that SR because, number one, you know, you're one of 250 people in the world who owns that. There is massive value in that alone. And in addition to that, you know, you're holding a collectible that looks amazing and is highly coveted by many other people, and in most cases has a higher monetary value. Those points are really the core when it comes to thinking about a collectible. So I know there are a lot of very passionate people out there about the MCP, but I think I just want to remind you that this is just an extra feature in the app. You know, it's not the be all and end all of SRs. And in fact, you know, my opinion is that, you know, I saw some of the SRs going for cheaper in the market. I mean, you know, I hope a lot of people snap them up because there were people making very rash decisions based on a tiny feature in the app that's coming out. So that's my position on it at the moment. Like I say, we've done a lot of modeling to get the balance right overall. However, we, of course, take feedback from the community, but please don't expect that there are going to be significant amount of points for an SR because it will literally throw the model out. And ultimately, it will become a game of whoever has the most money is going to win. And that is absolutely not our ethos at VeVe, which is why we sell collectibles from, you know, $13 upward. You know, we're not selling things for sort of 5 or 10 grand. So there are so many factors that come into play when building out something like the MCP. And I can absolutely appreciate and understand that when this model comes out, a lot of people are more than likely seeing it and interpreting it based on their own collection. But that's obviously something that we can't do on our side. This needs to be a holistic, ubiquitous system that is designed to help everyone, whether you're a beginner or whether you're a master collector, get through the ranks and levels.
Well said. Thank you, Dan. I do believe that will be the prevailing sentiment. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Thank you.
Thanks, Prop. So on that note, we have a pillar of the comic collector community with us on stage. So Dozer, if you wouldn't mind offering your counterpoint to this, because I know you've been pretty vocal about this the last day or so.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me, VeVe fam. And massive thank you to Dan. Dan actually reached out to me and we had a really good conversation last night regarding this topic. So there's actually two schools of thought. The school of thought one is that only the rich people and the whales will prevail. That's not the case because I'm not rich and I'm not a whale. A lot of the people in our community have decided to sell off their collectibles to get comic books. Okay, so they've decided that they liked the comic book better, so they've concentrated on that. Like Dan said earlier, there should be various routes to the Master Collector program. First of all, I loved the program. The only thing I was against was the valuation of secret rare comics. You should not be getting 0.5 more points for the secret rare comics as for a common. So with that being said, that's all I want to see. I want to see people to have that option to become a master collector, whether they want to focus on collectibles or comic books. And with that being said, by doing that, it'll be better for the ecosystem because by giving secret rare comic book collectors just a little more points than 1.5, it'll be that awesome incentive for them to hold it. Because otherwise, like we're seeing right now, they'll just dump them and buy collectibles like me. Like I love my Marvel Comics 1 secret rare. I love my Kang. But I mean, if it meant that much to other people, they would just sell it right now, cash in their 20K gems and just buy collectibles instead. And that's not what I want to see. I mean, these are so hard to obtain on drop. They're so hard to buy in the market that the people actually that sold their collectibles to get that special item and they want to hold it, to some extent should be rewarded to the point where they also can become a master collector. So, I mean, like me, I love comic books. My head exploded when we got comic books. My head's exploding now that we're getting Star Wars. And at the end of the day, we've gotten to that point where we have so much stuff incoming that people are only going to collect what they want to collect.
Yeah, exactly. And I appreciate the conversation that we had last night. Obviously, you are a pillar in the comic book community, so it's very valuable to get your feedback. And like I said, it is something that we are taking, we are reviewing And like I say, we just have to be careful that it doesn't blow the model out. But I would like to touch on something that you said, which is that people are selling their collectibles to buy the comics they want. And that is and always has to be the core of why you're collecting. And I think I can just tell the audience now, if you're collecting for points, you're doing this thing the whole wrong way. I mean, yes, you will get some advantage for points, but you know, we're a collectibles business, and ultimately that's where, like I mentioned just before, you know, where the value, et cetera, comes in. But yeah, Doza, really appreciated your feedback. It was great to get your insights from yourself and the other people you were talking to. So
yeah, totally. And it wasn't just me. Like yesterday, I was driving and my freaking phone just started blowing up with texts from a bunch of random members of the community, and I'm like, "What the hell?" So I started checking, and yeah, like once I saw what they were, you know, concerned about, I'm like, okay, yeah, I could see that being a problem. One common comic, 1 point, secret rare, 1.5. I could see that being some issue. And like I said, I'm not asking. I don't think any of these people are asking for like 50 points for a secret rare. Just something more, you know, more in the line of a set that's harder to complete, like the other more difficult sets to complete. That's how difficult it is to obtain a secret rare on some of these.
Rhys, I think you suggested 0.501 points, didn't you?
Blame it on Rhys.
Throw me under the bus.
You're
there,
okay.
right?
No, that was me. I was just joking around saying that. But yeah, no. Thank you for the feedback. 100%. I mean, that's exactly why we put these articles out, because you know we want to hear from people in the community. It is a complex model, and you know maybe there are some things that we might have brushed over a bit too lightly on, or one of the specific routes isn't yielding quite as much as another route. So yeah, thank you. We will be doing another deep dive into it. And just
awesome, Dan. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for reaching out to me last night. That actually meant a lot to me. And thanks for having me on, Alex.
Of course.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Let's move on to Sparky.
Hi. Thank you. All right. I just had 2 questions, and the first one was more clarification on what you said earlier. We do all know that Todd is like the first Batman and all that, but when it is reminted, is it gonna hold the respective dates, or is it on the minted date of Immutable?
That is something I will need to check with the developers. So let me circle back on that one.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. And then do you have an ETA on Showroom 2.0?
Now, Showroom 2.0 is looking amazing, and I'm actually going to be posting some videos of both the new showroom and also the new empty space showroom on my Twitter this week. Basically, everything's ready to go. Now, my only kind of concern, which, you know, and of course I learn all of my concerns by mistake, is that that is quite a big update to the app going in. And that is going to be happening right before Disney and right before DCon. So from my perspective, I just need to make sure that the timing is right, because I wouldn't want any issues or any problems in the app that might disadvantage people from getting, you know, from taking part in those drops. So thank you for hanging tight, everyone. I know the new showroom looks so beautiful. I mean, I almost feel like I feel a little bit of vomit come up in my throat when I go back into the showroom V1. So it is a massive update, and the empty showroom has got some really cool features. I can't remember if I touched on this last time, but basically what you can do in this empty space. So as you probably all gathered, there's no walls or a gallery showroom around it. You're just in this kind of grid, what would be like a Tron kind of area. And then you can place all of your collectibles, move them around, scale them as you normally do. But when you place those collectibles in AR, we have a new feature that we've added in called Move Set or Move Group. And what this allows you to do is, let's say you've spent, you know, a couple of hours setting up all of your collectibles in a really beautiful layout, and you want to drop those collectibles in AR, but have them all positioned somewhere. Like you might want to put it on a shelf or along the wall. Now, what would be extremely painful, and I think what people have had to do up till now, is move each of those collectibles individually. But now with the new Move Set feature, you can basically turn on Move Set, and then that will allow you to scale, rotate, move all of the collectibles in that scene in one go. So I'm very excited to see you know, what people are going to do once we start to get this empty space showroom out, and you know, we can start seeing some really cool collectible dioramas in AR.
Yeah,
I think all the Voltaholics will be happy
just
with
a
that.
touch point. I've been waiting for the showroom 2.0 for so long.
Woohoo.
I made my own room, which I'm gonna put it on my Instagram of my showroom 2.0 tonight. It's a special preview.
Oh, okay.
Special preview.
Right.
Okay.
Wait,
Special preview.
Are you trying to trump my preview on Twitter next week?
Yes.
I'm gonna post mine
All
now.
right, well, maybe we should have a little competition. Let's put up a vote. Who's got the best showroom?
So please do stand by. My 2.0 long-awaited showroom coming.
I don't know about you
Alright,
guys, but I feel like we're about to get used.
You're about to get you for sure. It's gonna be a shoebox or something.
All right, let's move on to Austin. What's up, Austin?
Hey guys, how's it going? Love everything you guys are
Hey,
doing.
Austin.
Congratulations again. So I know how the some of the community is feeling about the MCP. I feel like a lot of people are struggling getting drops, right? So they think it's an opportunity to use this lottery to their at most advantage to get on the drop. So that leads me to my question, because I know a lot of people say they hustled and they worked hard, which is true, but they were fortunate to be early, right, to the game. Now, when you buy a collectible, it shoots up to like $1,000 or $700 for an ultra rare, right? So my worry is the small fish and the whales. I know people don't like talking about it, but I don't mind talking about it. Like in gaming, let's say Apex Legends. I don't know if you guys played that game. They have a ranking mode, and in that mode, you fight up against your own rank. And so what worries me about the lottery is, let's say I want Darth Vader, because who doesn't? So I put all my lottery tickets in to try to get a Darth Vader. And let's say 100 whales or 1,000 whales do the same. Well, they're automatically going to outbeat me, right? And then someone made a good point before saying, okay, well, they took Darth Vader for sure. Maybe you can go for Yoda when it comes up. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of a losing game. So that's why I thought, like, if we already in a rank system, wouldn't it make sense to battle your own rank? Or another idea I was thinking about is if we had like a 50% against 50%. So you said there's 23 ranks, so let's say 12 against 11. So the top between, let's say 12 to 1 and then 13 to 23 would be part of the lottery system, and then you would battle between there. Yeah, that was my idea for that point. I have a lot more. So
yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, obviously, the points expire after 6 months, right? So that mechanism is designed to force people to spend them. But with the amount of drops and content coming, I personally don't think that that's going to be much of an issue. Dan, did you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I would say the same thing as well. That, as people who have been around for the past 6 months, you all know that our drop frequency has rapidly gone up, much to my own detriment. But it is, and that is something we're more than likely going to anticipate happening in 2022, where there will be more and more drops. And the reason for this is purely that, we are bringing on different types of collectible content. And I think moving into the future, people are going to have to pick and choose what they want. And while I agree that, something like Darth Vader or Yoda are going to be very, very popular items, I think we're going to start seeing people more picking and choosing what they want. Now, there will always be whales. That's normal in any, even in the physical collectible world. I mean, I know a whale. His name's David Yu. He just goes in and buys everything. But you did raise a good point, which I had considered quite carefully, which is, potentially breaking the drop lottery up into the different tiers. However, I think there's many different variables that we need to consider. And that is that I could be a new user and I could be ranked number 2, but, I might have a ton of cash sitting in my bank. So, it's not necessarily that the rank is going to specifically help you out, but I will revisit that again as a potential option. However, Rhys also touched on the fact that points expire, so we know that people have to use points. And we also know that when you wager your points, they are gone. So I think the way that the modeling has worked is that we can anticipate that when we first roll out the Master Collector program and all of the points are retroactively applied, there is going to be whales out there who will spend massive amounts of points to acquire what they want. But once those points are gone, they then need to rebuild those points, and that will give people the opportunity who may not have as much as they would have at that time of that drop, but by the next drop rolls around, you may actually end up having more than that whale, because these points, they are designed to be spent. They're designed to expire for that exact reason, to add some balance into it. So, yes, I could come in as a whale and spend, all 2 million of my points or however many I've got to secure a drop. But once those points are gone, I then need to, rebuild my points at the daily point level. So there is a degree of fairness and balance in the current model. One other thing to consider is that the idea of the drop lottery is that there are collectors out there, and I'm sure there are many on the call right now, who literally want to get certain types of rarities or certain specific characters, and they are what we call our super collectors, or quote unquote the David Hughes of our audience. And ultimately, these are the guys who complete all of the sets, they buy all of the collectibles. And so, we also feel that, if you are one of those people, we want to, show you a bit of kudos or a bit of kindness to say, thank you for being a part, such an active part in our community. And that is why they, are getting more points because of everything they own. So, please be rest assured that we have considered all, well, okay, I won't say all, I'll say 98% of the factors involved. And that was one of the reasons why the MCP took so long to come out, was to make sure that we could have something balanced. But I thank you for your first suggestion, Austin. I'll revisit the multi-tier drop and just see how complicated that gets. You had another question?
Yeah, I have two short ones. I know someone who in the community was thinking he just wants VeVe versus land and that's it, right? And it sucks for him because he's planning on just to hold his points as long as possible. But that if he loses all his points in 6 months, it's kind of upsetting to him, because his whole goal is to buy VeVe versus land, right? Which I don't blame him.
Well,
I would want to do the same.
I'll just stop you there.
Yeah.
At this point in time, no one has ever said or ever published that points will get you land. So I think we've got to be very careful about the assumptions that we make and the assumptions that we hear. To qualify for land is going to be something almost equally as complex. It's not just going to be a one-dimensional, oh, that guy gets it because he's got the most points. There's going to be many factors involved. So, we've got to be very careful about making assumptions that haven't been published by VeVe.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. My last point was the comics. I've seen people are kind of upset they're not getting as much love regarding the MCP. And my suggestion, you guys do whatever you will. I was thinking if the rare got 0.4, ultra rare got 0.6, and then secret rare get 1, I feel like that would provide a lot more of assurance to buy those comic books. But yeah, those are all it. Thank you for your time.
Cool, appreciate that. And yeah, like I say, we will go back and revisit the points for the SRs.
Great. Sam.
Hello, how's everyone doing?
Well, thank
you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So, first thing I just wanted to say was just a massive congratulations for what you guys have been able to achieve. I got involved back in March, never even heard of an NFT before. And, now I can't even imagine my life without them. So, it's just been incredible to watch all of you been able to sort of build and mold and bring people's favorite fandoms into the world and bring it through the medium of NFTs. I'm incredibly excited to be a part of this vision. I'm excited to be on this space. I think it's an incredibly historic moment for VeVe. You know, Marvel was huge. Having the whole portfolio of Disney is just mind blowing. And you know, I've just got to give props to you all. You know, you inspire me daily to continue to push hard in my own goals. And you know, it's an honor to be on this space tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
So my question. Okay, so I'm sort of a big collector of min numbers. You know, it's no secret. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's become a huge passion of mine. What I'm asking today is, first of all, it's just a bit of a clarity on one of the things that I read. So it's the 151st mint that gets sort of the added bonus. Does that start from the 40 of the public mints, or does that start from 1 to 150, or is that 40 to 190?
That would be 40 to 149. However, I was discussing it with the team this morning, and we might look to up that number. So, you know, potentially, and this is not confirmation, you know, maybe to up it to maybe 250 or 300. I think there has to be a cutoff point at some area. You know, I mean, if you manage to get a 500 or 600, like, yeah, it is low overall, but the idea of, you know, there are people out there who collect sub 100s and sub 150s. And, you know, those are often difficult to get because often the price, and, you know, people don't often want to give them up.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. You know, we all have our different collecting goals. And, you know, for me, going for lower mints has its own value. And just to see you even be acknowledged within the Master Collector program is pretty cool to see. And the second question I was going to ask was, I guess it is more to reference maybe potentially incorporating some more areas of mints. I think it would be an interesting idea to share with you guys. You know, something I was thinking about earlier was potentially maybe instead of having daily recurring mint number, recurring points for lower mints, even though it's a great idea, maybe, you know, for 2,000 and lower or 3,000 and lower, have like a weekly where maybe you get a 0.2 and sort of to encourage, because I think there's a lot of people that have different collecting goals of mint numbers. I know specifically for me, I talk to people every single day about mint numbers. I mean, it's literally taken over my life. And so, yeah, I mean, it's literally like a huge part of you know, I enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. It's a massive passion area for me. But it's just interesting to see and speak to different people. You know, like you say, some people do go for the sub 100s, but I have people, you know, even in my household that go for sub 3,000, sub 2,000. So maybe it might be cool. I don't know. It'd be a cool idea to show you guys, just to, you know, even if it's just a weekly, you know, maybe 0.2 per, you know, just something. I just thought it'd be an idea like to share with you guys.
Yeah, some sort of tiered thing. My only objection with that is that we're then directing people to specific collectibles as opposed to completing sets. You know, it's kind of encouraging that yeah, I mean, it could work.
No, I actually agree with you. You know, it is true. I mean, obviously, I've questioned it in my own head before. I was like, you know, there is obviously caveats to it. I agree with you. You know, I just thought it might be an interesting thing to share with you all. But, you know, like I say, it's just a pleasure to be up here and just even be invited. So, like I said, they're my questions. Thank you for having me. And, you know, what an honor to be a part of such a historic moment for VeVe. You know, congratulations to you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
And thanks for all.
Yeah, really appreciate that. Now, yeah, just to touch on your question, I absolutely did scope out, you know, different tiers of low mints. And, you know, I think just remember that once the program is developed and rolled out, you know, it's not locked in stone. We may decide at some point that, you know what, we're going to add a daily bonus for sub 1,000 or sub 2,000s. We just need to be a little bit careful in the beginning. The system is already quite complex. So I think we want to get it out, make sure it's working, check all the numbers, make sure it's all, you know, on track as to what we thought. And then after that, we can always look to add new things. I mean, even with the badges offer a huge opportunity as well. And, you know, who knows, maybe one day even a badge, if you manage, like, for example, let's say there's a Royal Flush badge because you've got a set with, you know, consecutive numbers. You know, there might be a badge for that. And potentially there could be certain badges that will give a daily recurring point. So I think, you know, let's just remember this is, you know, first iteration. I think it covers, I won't say 98% anymore. I'll say it covers 90% of you know, what people were expecting. And, you know, even though there's been a lot of negative sentiment out there, you know, overall, the MCP is actually pretty damn cool. It is a bit disappointing to see so much sort of negative stuff about a small part of it, when there is so much to celebrate about the overall program. And the reason we're on this call today is so we can get your feedback, and it's the reason we do put these articles out. So
Well, I have to say, just quickly, just to let you guys know, my personal opinion on it is you guys have done an incredible job with the Master Collection program. I was just incorporating and sharing a few little ideas. I love what you've done. I love what you've been able to achieve with it. And I think what you've been able to do in incorporating balance, I think it's so important that we remember this, and I think you guys know that completely, that the balance system, so everyone has that fair playing ground to be able to do what they love and not have to be incorporated just around money, but around their fandoms and things they enjoy. I just got to give props to you all. I mean, it was a really fun read and a very exciting, it's been a very exciting week. So thank you for having me again. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Sam. I'm going to move ahead to a couple of questions from Twitter, and then we'll get back to the stage. So, Emoji, Foster, just give me a few minutes here. Brother Jagamus asks, if I have all of the Amazing Spider-Man issues, is that 8 points a day? And if I have 3 of each of those issues, does that count as 3 completed series of the Amazing Spider-Man, equaling to 24 points a day?
No, it doesn't. Basically, you can only get points for a set or a series once. So if you have multiple, I mean, with comic series, it's a bit different. Obviously, with duplicate sets, you get a diminishing point. But the series are quite different in the sense that a set is finite. Once all 4 are out, all 4 are out. Whereas with the comic series, as most of our fans probably know, there's more and more comics coming out for Amazing Spider-Man or Fantastic Four. So the model is a little bit different. But to answer the question, there won't be duplicate points for having multiple series.
Got it. Thank you. Mark Omi asks, why haven't we seen the last item in the James Bond drop with it saying details coming mid-October in the app?
That's a great question, James. If you find out, let me know.
His name is Mark. But yes.
Sorry.
Yes, it's all right. It's, what, and I've actually said this in a space before when somebody asked me, it really just comes down to making sure that collectible A is absolutely correct. And there's a lot of approval process with these things sometimes. It goes back and forth. So although our best, our hopes were that it was going to be mid-October, we're just a little bit behind just to make sure that it is absolutely correct, because it's going to be awesome.
And I think we can term this one Edo 2.
Yes,
Edo 2.
Definitely Edo.
Yeah, so we'll see it in 6 months.
There's always got to be one collectible that's pending. It's got to keep you on the hook somehow.
Okay, let's do one more from Twitter and we'll get back to the stage. If I buy one of your NFTs off Immutable X, if assuming that happens, will it count towards the MCP?
Yes, we do address this in the article. Now, so what happens here is that there are 2 ways to acquire a collectible. Number one is that you buy it within VeVe, and that is you either get it from the store or you get it from the market. If you do buy it within VeVe, then you will get the one-off points as well as the daily points. Now, if you purchase the collectible off platform, you will not get the one-off points, but you will, of course, get the daily points for any collectibles or comics in your collection. I know that there was a lot of misinformation out there about transfers of collectibles not getting any points, but I can assure you that would be a real bad move on our part. So
the difference there was the one-off versus the daily, and so we needed to make sure that article was out before we started FUD busting too hard, because it really was no point. The article was coming out imminently.
I know.
So
the article wasn't even out.
Sure.
Yeah, it wasn't out.
Just to piggyback on that and just to go a bit further, because I know that question did ask more specifically about Immutable. So in the case where some collectibles become interoperable, is that transaction still recorded because of the smart contracts underpinning either platform? Do we know, or is it still
your
too
collectible
early
is
to know
not
if that functionality?
if your collectible is not in VeVe and it's somewhere else, then you're not going to get daily points for it. I mean, that makes no sense.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's more. Yeah, obviously that transaction record doesn't come with it when it comes back from Immutable.
No. I could do. Okay. It could do, but yeah.
But yeah, for the sake of the MCP,
exactly.
No.
Yeah.
For sure.
Great.
Cool.
All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and move on here. Emoji, what's up?
Hey, what's up? How you guys doing?
Hey,
well, man.
Hey, man.
Good to hear. Yeah, I wanted to say, like, first off, I think the series idea for the comics is really, really cool. Because I feel that it encourages people, instead of, having this set and owning different variations of the same story, to actually own the entire story, so they could follow along and read it. So my question is more so along like because there was a section about just, how active you are on the app and, getting points from there. So I know, you guys had mentioned, posting and like, commenting and like the standard stuff you would see in social media. But because you guys have so many things beyond what we see in social media, like reading comics or, what Voltaholics are doing with building their showrooms and stuff, would some of that stuff transfer over into those like active points for market ultimately for the MCP program?
Absolutely. All of those fall under the ... and more in the daily points section. I think we might have mentioned in the article that we will be adding more clarity around what actions are counted towards daily in-app activity. And that is actually also an opportunity for me to bring up just some further clarity around the in-app activity points. Number one, you can't log out, log back in, log out, log back in, log out 25 times to get points. That is not going to work. You will get 1 point per day for entering the app. There will be various other daily points which you will be able to score more on. Like, for example, posting or liking or commenting, they won't be limited to 1. So, we're making sure that, obviously, we've been through a very interesting year, and I've kind of designed the system from a, under the no abuse, no scam type headline, because, these points ultimately will give people advantage to get some high value assets. So we do need to make sure it is very fair across the board. So I just wanted to touch on that, because I know that was a question I saw pop up.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Emoji. And the man who's been name dropped a few times already this AMA, let's move on to Foster Hills.
Hey guys, my name's Foster and I'm addicted to VeVe.
That call happens after this.
Guys,
you're in the right place.
You put me through the ringer tonight here. I tell you, I got people blowing up my phone. I've never been so crazy in a 15-minute period. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. But I guess a comment and then a question first. As someone who plays a lot of video games, you guys did great on the MCP article. The gamification that's been added in, I think, is brilliant, and it's something that people have been asking for quite a while. So it was very exciting to be able to spend 6 hours breaking it down yesterday with a couple other content creators. Shout out to Cavell Anderson and Randy Chavez. I guess one piece of perspective that I would just offer to people that maybe the team can't or won't say is that, I own an Amazing Spider-Man #1 comic that I got on the drop for $7. It's a secret rare, and it's worth about $8,000. I only get 1.5 points a day for holding it, and I could very well sell it and hold 10 common comics and get more points than that comic. But I think what people need to remember, and it's echoing Dan's sentiment perfectly, is, is earning points on the app the reason that we started collecting? Like, is this what the community has been boiled down to? I think what people need to remember, and not to downplay the value of the MCP, because it is fantastic, but what do points really get you, right? Like, when you go onto a drop lottery and you wager your points to try and get a collectible, you need to remember, I mean, I think Dan said we had almost 60,000 people trying for Edo, and that was 2,000 editions. You're going to get a very small fraction of that percent being available for this drop lottery. So you're going to have, 60,000 people possibly bidding their points for 10 or maybe even 20 collectibles. And we see people selling collectibles that are worth thousands and thousands of dollars, panicking because they believe that the points are going to be the end all to be all in the app. And I just think for a moment, we just really need to take a step back and remember what it is that we're here for. And at the end of the day, the value proposition of the amount that our collectibles are going to be worth will always, in my opinion, far outweigh the value of the points that you will receive. But all the same, it's awesome that we have this program. I think it's also important to remember that, you guys weren't obligated to make this program. You're a licensee of these licensors, and you're providing this product. You're adding this level of gamification in to support the community, because as collectors, it's something that you see as value. This doesn't exist in the real world. If I buy a low mint collectible in the real world, or I buy a super rare collectible in the real world, no one gives me extra points or a pat on the back for it, right? So it's important to remember that perspective, and not to downplay anyone's concerns about the comics. This isn't what that's about, but it's just looking at the bigger picture and remembering, we're fortunate to be in the position that we are right now, and just kind of be, try and be grateful for it. But of course, feedback is always welcome, and I'm sure the team will listen to it. And I guess speaking on that feedback, and I don't know if Dan, Rhys, or David can comment on it, but I've had a lot of people asking me already, because of course Disney and an MCP article within 24 hours wasn't enough. Do we have any, and I'm not talking time frames, but updates in regards to the priority list for what you guys see coming in the next, weeks and months in relation to utility for the token, whether it be the Omi utility article, listings on exchanges post immutable? We had an update on the MTL already. Maybe Omi to NFT. Do we have, a priority list that we are looking at to try and get some of those accomplished for the community?
Absolutely. And yeah, thanks for your kind words. I think you summed it up very well, in the sense that the true value comes from the collectible rather than an associated point system. However, that said, I will of course go back and look at the model and see what we can do to address the concerns from the community. Now, in terms of priority, let's see. Right now, I've got 1, 2, 99, 150. Priority number 1. I can assure you that high up on that list is the Omi Utility Program, or the OUP. And I think I mentioned in a few earlier AMAs that I was hoping to drop that with the MCP article, because I know that there is a huge part of the community that also, wants to know what utility is coming with the Omi token. So that is absolutely next on my list for next week, and I'm aiming to have that out to you next week. Please don't record that and send it back to me if it doesn't happen. Happen. And just keep in mind that this, like I've said, this is a collectibles business, and ultimately the very first thing we need to do is make sure we are getting out collectibles, make sure we are meeting our licensor obligations. So those, the collectible drops always need to take priority. It doesn't make sense for us to not drop anything and spend a couple of weeks, working on a feature. So in terms of major priorities, obviously we've still got a few irons in the fire which have taken a bit longer than we had initially hoped, such as the immutable migration, gem to fiat, the Omi utility program, and obviously the MCP has now been dropped, and that is already underway in development. In terms of other features, really moving forward after the and I can assure you, I have a list of so many cool features that I just wish we could roll out tomorrow. But I'm actually going to take a little bit of a break from new features. And after the version 2 is rolled out, we're going to spend time focusing on MCP, OUP, you know me, how many other acronyms here?
OPP. Alex, you got a couple there?
And then we're also just going to go back and focus a little bit more on the app. You know, there are various sections within the app, like such as the comic section, which, as I mentioned, should be rolled out next week. The upgrade to that. And there's just other parts of the app that need a little bit of attention. So between now and the end of the year, it's really going to be looking to focus on those major components, MCP, OUP, and then also just diving back into the app a little bit to make things a little bit easier to use and address some of the points that the community has brought up. And then, yeah, moving into 2022, you know, really the focus is going to heavily shift towards the VeVeverse. Obviously, you know, that is something that we have underway right now, but we do, as I mentioned, have a lot of irons in the fire that we want to get out to the community. And then after that, we'll start to focus very heavily on the VeVeverse. In addition to that, you've got to remember we've also got the web platform coming out. So there is a lot going on in the background, and there's a lot of other cool new features, like a new type of collectible that we have coming out. Should be sometime in January that we will also be working on.
Well, I think you definitely gave me a little bit to mull over, and I'm sure you'll see a video or two coming out about all of that. So thank you so much, guys, for all that you do and for having me up as always. It's a great community, and I just consider it an absolute honor and pleasure to be a part of it, and I'm very much looking forward to see where all of this takes us moving into the new year. So thank you so much.
Thank you,
Foster.
Really appreciate it.
All right. Dan, how are we looking? We're coming up on about 7 minutes to 5 p.m. Pacific. I got a few more Twitter questions I can roll out, or I can bring some more people up on stage. How are we looking?
Yeah, I can probably do another 10 to 15 minutes. And then after that, I really need to go and get the collectibles loaded up for tomorrow's drop.
There you have it. Okay. All right. Let's do one from Twitter here. Let's see. Will you guys introduce a burning mechanism? Sorry, this 2Pank is asking, will you guys introduce a burning mechanism like trading collectibles in for a better, for a chance of better, this is worded weird, sorry, like trading in collectibles for a drop, essentially?
Yes, I think we touched on that very lightly in the MCP Pro. And when the MCP Pro is rolled out, one of the features in there that we have listed is the ability to burn collectibles for points. Now, I haven't elaborated on that too much because we're still modeling out how we're going to do that burn and what the value of the points that you will receive. So ultimately, to answer the question is that, yes, you will be able to burn collectibles and you will receive points for those for the collectibles that you burn, which you can then obviously use in the drop lottery, or maybe you just want to use it for premium market listings or accessories. But there will be a burning system like that to start off with, and there's a lot of value in a burning model, so we might look to expand that in the future.
All right, let's do one more here. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm picking one that we haven't answered already. I think we pretty much touched on all of this. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and move on. Here, let's do this one. Boomlot asks, is Ecomi still scheduled to be in more exchanges by the end of the calendar year 2021? Is it contingent on the move to IMX?
It is, of course, contingent on the move to IMX. Obviously, there's no point signing up any new exchanges until that migration happens. And legally, I don't want to get into any muddy water by promising anything on that front. So, post-immutable, we will release that information as it comes to fruition.
All right. Okay, let's move back to the stage here. We got just a couple more. We're going to do, I know usually I try to get some new voices up here, but I think there's plenty of people that are kind of acting as proxy for the community that, either do videos and things like that. So we're really trying to get the word bread here about the intricacies of MCP, and I think these voices will help us do that for anybody who couldn't join the AMA. That said, there will be the customary recap on Twitter after this. But with that, let's move on to Taps. What's up, Taps?
Hey, congrats, Ecomi VeVe team, for securing arguably the biggest IP in NFT history to date. So I was so excited. I was, pacing around my house when I heard. So congrats, everyone.
Thanks.
So that's funny. My question actually was, I think everything's been pretty covered on the VeVe side. My question was around, I guess, Omi on the mutable side. So Dan, you had said that the phase 2 is just about finished. There was a hiccup, but that's kind of being worked out. So once that, I guess, is finished, hopefully end of next week, we then enter into phase 3, which is where we're migrating our tokens over from GoChain to Immutable X. And I guess my question is around, the exchanges have been put off for some time because it does make sense to go to Immutable. Would that, I guess, be in line with the time where we could see another exchange or two, or will we need to wait for everyone to be fully migrated before announcing something like that?
Firstly, welcome, Taps. I love watching your videos as well. Always a great source of what's actually happening on the ground level of the community. So yeah, I think I pretty much just answered that question around exchange announcements. However, the last part of your question is that no, we won't wait until everyone has migrated, because ultimately the token swap site will be up almost indefinitely because there may be people who have forgotten they brought some Omi last year at 0.000000, whatever it was. And then next year, 6 months from now, they might go, hey, that's right, I've got a bag of Omi. So yeah, we won't. The exchange listings are not contingent on everyone moving over. However, I will say that this next step that we're doing now is the reminting. It is a fairly complex process, which is why we've taken so long to get to this point. And then the following phase after that is really the most crucial. And we're dealing with significant amounts of value, and we need to approach it very carefully and very studiously to make sure that everything is going to run very smoothly. So from my perspective, if things end up taking an extra week or two, I'm absolutely going to go for that time to make sure that the everything to do with the migration happens successfully, because we can only do this once. Everyone wants it now, but it has to be safe in order for us to move ahead. So with that said, I think just a little bit of understanding, everyone on the VeVe and Ecomi side is literally working their butts off to get everything done. But from my perspective, before I can really give the go-ahead, I need to be 100% sure that, all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Taps. Two last ones here. We'll kind of end it on a bang. Let's move forward with, NFT Pirates. What's up?
Hey, been a while. What's up, everybody? Congratulations on all these historical announcements, Dan, Alex, David, and Rhys, and thanks for having me up. And it's been such a dream come true watching all of these accomplishments and successes happen in such a short time. And my question is really, I have a lot of friends that have joined the app and maybe bought a common DeLorean or something like that, but never dived into it to the level that I have. And so my question is, was there any predictive analysis on what the Master Collector program could do on enhancing engagement, maybe user retainment, and maybe onboarding of new users? Like, I know we're encroaching on 1 million users, but what kind of spark might this have for maximizing engagement for people who might be less obsessed with this app?
Wait, there are people out there who aren't obsessed with it? Dave, you need to pick it up. Ultimately, the Master Collector program is designed to be a retention and loyalty program. That really is the core of what it is. And that is why, you'll see things like, daily activity points are quite high comparatively. You can earn up to 25 points per day. And if you're a master collector or a high level rank or a high level collector, you will be getting a significant amount of points per day for what you're holding. So you're probably going to be less inclined to do the daily activity because it's not really going to move your needle that much in terms of what you're getting. However, if you're a new user into the app, those 25 daily points could really go a long way to help you start to move up the levels and gain some more advantage. So ultimately that is what the whole emphasis behind the MCP is: retention and loyalty.
Yeah, that's great to hear, Dan, because I think, that's one of the biggest incentives that I had from when I joined the app is, I was able to kind of build that leverage, and now seeing that from a point-based system for new users is, I think, really remarkable. So big kudos on that.
Cool, thank you. And I think it's when there are obviously going to be a lot of new users coming in who are going to be low level, but ultimately that's how it is. If I log into World of Warcraft today with my, I think I had a level 20 something all those years ago, which was great back then, but now I'm almost going to be starting at the bottom. But, in the same sort of vein, I could go back in and I could go through the grind, killing all the small creatures and working my way up. And that's really the same kind of philosophy with the MCP.
Kill all the small creatures. That's the philosophy.
Yeah, you got
it. Fair.
That's great, guys. Well, thanks for having me up. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right. Let's do one more from Twitter, and then we'll finish off with one on the stage, and then we'll call it a day. Basically picked this one on name alone because, I love me some tacos. Crispy Tacos asks, have you guys thought about adding an invite code for users to gain rewards or points when onboarding new users to keep from people abusing the system? It can unlock points rewards after that user participates in a drop or buys a collectible.
Absolutely. We will definitely be rolling out an invite system, and that invite system will contribute towards your points. But you are correct. It will only contribute once various factors have been met. Otherwise, people could game or scam the system in some way. But an invite friend, I think, is a no-brainer. Where that sits in the current priority list, it's not up at number one.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. We're going to wrap it up here because, we got to crack the whip on Dan, get him back to the drop machine. But, this one's a selfish one for me just because I love his energy. Mr. Omi-Wan Kenobi.
Hey, let's go. Hey, what up, everybody? Hey, Dan. Hey, Dan, I got a question about the MCP. No, I don't got no question about the MCP program, man. You already wrote it, man. Hey, thank you for your transparency, man. Hey, I just want to say, first of all, thank you to the VeVe team because it's not about money for me, man. You guys brought a whole community together, man. And the people that I see or that I talk to every day in these crazy spaces, man, has been running for like 300 hours now. We're all on crack, coffee, and everything, bro. It's beautiful, man. And I count them as my brothers and sisters. And I can't wait to meet y'all at DCon. And the only reason why Reverend Alex brought me up is because I told him I was going to buy him a bottle. So, hey.
I can be easily bribed.
There's some bribery going on.
Hey, aside from everything, thank you again, you guys, for your transparency. At least we have what we have written. It's not in stone, but we have something to work with. And I'm excited. And this is for everybody in the crowd, including me. We would like the Necronomicon. We've already voted on it. So if you could animate that, that'd be great. It'd make us a little bit more richer. We already know the value in it. And there's a cult out there. I'm just letting y'all know. I'm not saying no names, but
another
hey,
one?
I'm a high priest, okay? So yeah, hey, but thank you guys so much, man. And we say this all the time in spaces. You can go to any corporate job, but you'll never speak to the boss. You'll never see the boss. You guys have really reached out to us in so many ways, and it's awesome for real. So thank you guys, and I want to give a shout out to everybody down there, man, that's been keeping it going as far as the spaces goes. And Alex, thank you for joining us every time, bro. Like, it's dope. Back of the class on Thursdays with Emoji, Lenny, True. The list goes on. Khaki, Proper. I mean, if I missed anybody, my boy Nexus with the What Ifs. Gammaverse is coming out with a dope soundtrack. Y'all gotta wait for that too. Doom, 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 doom. Hey, I'm telling you guys this right now, man. Hey, so, hey, the OBL, Rose, NFT Queen.
All right.
I can't stop, baby. I love the community. Let's go.
Hey,
let's
speaking
go.
of which, OBL is
Ling
going to be
Ling, let's
taking support.
go.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Hey, Dan.
Thanks, man.
Hey, Dan, I just want to say hi.
Hey, man.
Green, I just want to
Thanks for
say
coming
hi.
out.
They
Invite
said
me
hi
into
to me, y'all. Hey, it is what it is. Best day ever. Let's go. Biscuits, what's up?
Thanks, brother.
All right.
Invite me into
On
that
that
cult.
note, thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate your time today. And, obviously we have still a lot of ways to go in getting everything out. As we mentioned, this is a first draft. We're really excited to have the feedback. We really appreciate it. And there's more exciting news to come. So do not tune away from the Twitter space. And speaking of Twitter space, I think OBL is going to host one after this, just for the community, so you guys can marinate on this whole 2-hour jubilee, if you will. That said, I'm going to shout out one more time, Non-Fungible Wonderful. We're going to take us out with some music. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.